The late join. I was looking at the other Zoom that we had started with for the training and not the proper Zoom for the show itself. So,
Whoops.
my bad. I'm new here.
That's
All right.
okay.
Let me send you a test message. Make sure you got that.
Yes.
Fantastic. And how many breaks did you want to do today?
Just the one.
Yeah, at the bottom of the half.
At the half hour?
Yes, please.
Okay, perfect. You got it. All right, let's do a quick round of sound checks. Kelley, if you want to count back from 5 for me.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Loud and clear. Cheryl?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Cheryl, you're a little distant from your mic, I think. Is it across the room?
Can I try it now? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Kelley, do it again.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, Cheryl, you're way quieter than Kelley.
Okay, hold on.
Tap your mic for me. Make sure it's picking up. Okay, so it's not picking up. That's what it is. So you know how to get to your audio settings, or do you want me to walk you through?
Yeah, I got it. Let's see here.
Awesome. While you're doing that, I'll go with Kat, if you want to count back for me.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Awesome. Loud and clear.
I wonder why it's not taken. Hold on,
You
guys.
sound better
Oh,
now.
now you do.
Wait, now I sound better?
Yes.
Yes.
There we
You don't-
are. No hands. No hands.
Love it. All right, ladies, ready to rock and roll?
Yes.
Awesome. Let's have a fantastic show. Here we go.
Thank you.
Being brought to you on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericaempowerment.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management. Welcome to Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed with mediums Kelley Eckhart and Cheryl Murphy. Over the next hour, you'll hear engaging conversations that will guide you in your own journey of personal growth and transformation. Now, here are your hosts, Kelley Eckhart and Cheryl Murphy.
Good afternoon. Welcome everyone to Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed. Today is a super special day because we do have a lovely guest with us today, Miss Devine. But first, I'd love to say hello to my colleague, Kelley Eckhart. Hi, Kelley. How are you this afternoon?
Hi. Hi. Welcome, everybody. I'm doing great. I just got back from 5 days in Newport Beach and I feel great. Got to kind of regroup and relax.
I love it. Newport sounds so pretty.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kelley. And everyone, I want to introduce our first guest today. We have Devine with us. I want to tell you a little bit about Kat. Devine is a spiritual practitioner, evidential medium, and psychic intuitive, where she shares her gifts by directly working with the flow of source energy and the unseen world of spirit, which works through her and with her. She has developed extraordinary abilities that help to uplift her and heal from the surface, from the multidimensionality of our souls. She does amazing energy work, by the way. I personally just want to say I've had a healing with Kat and it was amazing. So thank you so much, Kat. If I can just continue and tell you that not only is she a psychic intuitive and spiritual medium, energy healer, she's also a transformational soul coach. She defines herself as a heart-centered soul warrior and heart healer, which we're going to talk about today. She helps changes the thought patterns and the belief systems about fear-based realities, and she helps to realign people with the divine loving light that we all truly are. So Devine, thank you so much for being on our program. We appreciate you being with us today.
Thank you so much, Cheryl and Kelley. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you to Voice America. I really appreciate this opportunity. Want to express really who we truly are. Really, that's how it comes down to, which is our divine nature. But thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Excited. Well, we're excited to have you, and we have so many things we want to ask you. I would first like to start out though by asking you if you could just share with everybody a little bit about how you got on your spiritual journey, because I think that's always fascinating to hear everyone's story, because we're all so different and everyone's story is a little different.
Yeah, that is true. Well, interesting enough, I was seeing spirit when I was very, very young as a child, but I just thought it was my imagination. I was scared of the dark. I was scared to be alone in my home. I could feel the presence. I could feel the energy, but I didn't know what that was at the time because I was so young. And so I wasn't brought up with understanding spirituality or the spirit world or anything part except for going to church. And even then it didn't sit right with me at the time. And so again, we grow up, we kind of forget, we move on. But there was a lot of synchronicities, a lot of things that would happen here and there. But I was very, very guided to nature and animals, and I was very compassionate. I grew up on a farm, and animals were really my life. I just absolutely loved them. And I actually wanted to be a veterinarian, in fact, but that didn't turn out to be. But however, when I moved to Florida, because I grew up in the Northeast, and when I moved to Florida, I was working, and wow, that's when I really saw spirit again. I had an incident that I ended up seeing spirit come into my room. And it wasn't just one spirit, one soul. It was my entire room being filled. And that was shaking to the nerve. I mean, it really shakes you to the bone. You think, oh, I want to see spirit. Well, when you see them objectively outside of yourself and with the whole room filled, it's actually quite scary, until I realized that the power that they were there for to help and serve me that I needed in that time of distress, actually, which I write a little bit about, which I can mention. It was actually in the Last Breath book that we are all authors in. And which my chapter's on page 111, which is seeing the light. Yep, that's right, the last breath. And so I share a little bit about that experience in there. But it was really, I became a dog trainer. So I worked with animals again. I really thought that was my life. Really my passion was about animals. So I became a dog trainer, and it was really learning about communicating, not just with the owners and the dogs, but it was the family dynamics and understanding how we are as energy, because you can read the dogs just by walking in and knowing that the way that they're acting is, again, a direct information from what the owners are giving them energetically as well as vocally. So it's really about understanding communication through all aspects. And so I really thought that was my plan for a very long time. So I was almost 16, almost 17 years as a dog trainer, and spirit came knocking on my door again. And, again, there's been lots of stories in between there, but spirit came knocking on my door around 2015, when I actually was first introduced to meditation, because again, I wasn't brought up with that. And when I was introduced to meditation, that's when my body started to move. And it wasn't me physically knowing that I was moving. It was, I could feel the presence, the power that came through me. And I was like, wait a second, there's something else here. There's someone or something or a higher power. And that was really the very first time that I felt something that inner bliss, something so different than external environmental factors, that we go from day to day to day. And so it was that first time of understanding, hey, I want to not only want to learn about what that is, what that power is, but actually learn, understand, and have more of it. And it became something of like, I can't get enough of it. And that's kind of really how it started.
I love it. It's interesting that you started meditating in 2015, because I think of all the synchronicities, because Kat Devine is one of the 4 earth angels. Me, Kelley, Kat, and Kimberly Meredith were all the 4 earth angels. So when you start talking about 2015, I think about what was happening in my life, and I just moved to California, and I met Kelly Eckhart and Allison Gannon. I mean, it's like synchronicity. So as the 3 of us were meeting, you were getting on your path. It's like, wow, that must have been a big year for a lot of people.
I think it was, actually. I have heard that quite a bit, that was the year that really changed for a lot of people. Yes. 2012, but even up to 2015 and 16.
Can I just make one quick announcement to everybody on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you're watching us? We're going to take calls after our break. So the first half, we're just going to do the interview, and then the second half, we're going to do all the calls. So if you're trying to call in now, I apologize, but that's how we're going to do it. Okay, thank you.
I love it. So when you got on your path, it sounds like you mentioned you've seen spirit when you were very young, right? And then again, and that really put you on your path. And I know that you're a healer. I mean, you're an energy healer is almost an understatement, because the enormous flow of divine light that came through you when I was receiving my healing, because I saw you in person at the New Living Expo. The three of us were there just recently in the San Mateo area. And when I sat in front of you, I mean, I could see there was a channel happening, right? There was divine light. Do you know that you're channeling? Do you know that
Absolutely.
That's what's happening? Because
I do. And that's really how it started. Like I said, back in 2015, when I started meditating, when my head would moved, and I knew I didn't move my head. So that power was coming through. And then I started practicing. I could feel, well, not only feel, my hands were moving, and they were healing me first. So physical traumas, physical pains, even through deep levels that we may not be aware of traumas and things like that, or experiences. So they did a lot of work on me first. And as that evolved, then I realized, okay, so then if you can do that to me, then I can try with someone else. And so, of course, it was my daughter first who came home and said, I have a headache, Ma, and I have some Advil or some Tylenol. And I said, no. We don't do that anyway. Let's go the holistic route. Let me see what I can do. And then I just prayed. And I didn't pray prior to that. I actually didn't really, not that I didn't believe in it, but I just didn't practice it. It wasn't something that, again, that really set with me at the time of my growing up. I had to do a lot of experience, let's put it that way. And then now I pray all the time, and the power of prayer is enormous.
Amazing.
But in just a second, her migraine was gone. And so people would ask me, are you doing Reiki? And I said, well, what's that? So I had no understanding of this at all. I just knew there was a higher power, and they were working with me, and they were working with whoever I would work with. And I would tell them, please don't tell me what's wrong with you. Just allow the power that is for your highest good to come through, and I'll be the conduit. And that's really how it started. And then I realized I was a medium, and then could talk to my loved ones in spirit. So it was actually the healing aspect that came first, and then our loved ones. That was my uncle, and that started talking to me. And I said, oh my gosh, you mean, okay. So then I started to develop, right? Then I said, okay, I need a mentor. So you can be a great basketball player as a child, but you get better with a coach, with a mentor.
Right.
And that's where I sought out a mentor, a coach to do with my mediumship work. So
I love this. I love that your story, and I like that you have such an interesting background too. With the animals, and I think you said earlier before the show even started, you grew up on a farm too. I just would love to hear more about. Well, it's like I'm trying to get the question out of my head here. So it's a two-part question, because I know you're going to share with us your tips for how to open your heart.
yes.
And I want you to share that, but I want you to answer this, and let's see if I get this out right. How do you feel that the animals helped you on your journey?
Well, that's a great question, first of all. And how they helped me, I was very empathic. I could feel them. I could feel, their innocence, and just being out in nature all the time. So I was saving animals left and right. And even on the farm, growing up where I grew up, when you grow up on a farm, if there's a sick or injured animal or something like that, my father would say, just let it be, let nature take care of it. And I would just cry and cry and cry. And I'm like, no, let me bring it in the house. And I got this big bottle. I would make a formula for them, and I would nurse them back to health. And they lived inside my house on my porch, my inner porch. It was kind of like Mary had a little lamb going to school. I would bring the lambs to show and tell. That's a small town, believe it or not. So I would be saving these animals all the time. So they are who I am, really. Well, we all are, but I mean, animals are really a huge part of my life. I would say even that I love animals more than people. That has changed, by the way. I actually love everybody. I would like to say I love everybody, but that has really changed. But the animals are just part of who I am. Yeah.
Well, I can say this too about animals. I prefer animal company sometimes to people company. And it's nothing against people. It's just that animals have such unconditional love that we've not mastered. And sometimes you just need that unconditional love.
You do. Yes, you do. I understand that so much. And especially like a cat who just wants to sit right on you when you're meditating, because they're super connected to the spirit world, by the way. Like
Yes.
very much connected. You can see them seeing spirit. They're looking up and you're like, is there anyone here? They'll see him before you do.
Yes, my cat and my dog's like that. Daisy. Daisy's my spirit dog, I say. And she's a healer. They
are
save me.
healers.
Yeah, they
are
save
healers. Mm-hmm. They do. So their energy transfers, they take on what we're feeling. So if you're not feeling well, they're right next to you. They're calm, they're relaxed, they're nurturing you. They take on some of those even illnesses, actually. So, yeah.
You ever notice they will lay, like say you have a stomach ache, the dog will lay like right where your stomach hurts. Or
Right.
say you fell and bruised your knee, the dog wants to lick your knee. I just noticed that dogs are they're natural healers. They're our teachers.
Mhm.
Well, you've seen that in the hospitals, in some of the nursing homes. I mean, of course, I've actually trained those dogs as well to come in there and heal the patients. And they come in there, and you've seen them, I'm sure, on YouTube and videos that they actually sit there and will do healings with them, even with the other animals at the veterinary hospital.
Yeah, that's
They're
amazing.
they're incredible. I mean, animals to me are incredible.
So we have we're going to go to break in 10 minutes or so. Why don't you start sharing some of your tips for everybody, and we can share some more after the breaks in between calls.
Sure. So, first of all, everyone knows and has heard of meditation. We've heard of it, right? Of course, you wouldn't be here if you hadn't, I don't think. Meditation is really number one. But with that being said, when you talk about meditation, some people get scared of that, or they say, I can't meditate. I have too many thoughts going on. I don't have time. So the way I say it, and what I teach is, if you were to close your eyes right now for 1 second in this moment and listen to the sound of your breath, that's all you have to do, is listen to the sound of your breath. Just that moment right there is a form of meditation. It brings you back to who you are. It brings you back to that center, that soul spot right there, into there versus the external stuff. So right there, then of course you can move with that and continue with that and breathe more, and then it can be guided. There's many different types of meditations. There's breath work, and there's mantras and chants and many other forms of meditation. But just that simple thing, you can say, you know what, everyone, I now know how to meditate. By you stopping for 1 moment, taking a pause and breathing and listening to the sound of your breath and letting it evolve, because your breath actually speaks to you, by the way.
Oh, I love that.
I love that sound. That idea.
And then another tip that I really love is automatic writing. So when you get yourself into that space, then your creative mind gets flowing, and allowing just the pen to just let whatever needs to come out, because what happens is it's a flow right through the pen, right? So we have this energy that has to come through, and by allowing it to come right through the pen and onto the paper, or even as you're typing, you'll have things that come out that you weren't even aware of. And then when you write and when you read it back, you're going to say, wow, I didn't know that was there, or I forgot about that. or that's so insightful, like, where did that come from? Well, I would say it's coming from your soul, your guides, your angels, your loved ones even. So those things, by doing some automatic writing, is incredibly beneficial, which, by the way, I'm working on a book. So there goes the automatic writing. That's the way it comes channeled. So those are wonderful things to do. Yeah, go ahead.
Say, Kat, that what you're offering us today, what you're inviting or asking people to do, is to not only meditate and automatic writing, but I just want to add to it that there's so many benefits of what you're sharing with us today, right? So, I mean, there's so many benefits. Like today's program, it's about loving yourself and bringing in more self-care into our lives. But also what you're offering us is how to connect with your heart and soul, and what you just said, how to connect with your guides, angels, right? There's a lot of benefits to that.
Aligning with your divine. That's what I like to say, align with divine. And that's your divine nature, who you truly are. And we are so busy in the external environment, rushing here, rushing there, taking care of the kids, or going shopping, or, whatever it may be. But just so on my phone, I even have an alarm set for, I set it for 11:11 every day. It's a reminder for me to say, take one moment and say a prayer, or send out a beautiful thought, or a loving or healing thought to someone. It's a reminder. So you can set your phone for a quick reminder, or a few times a day, just to sit and pause and listen to your breath. It really grounds you as well. It's really important to do so. That's self-care. That's loving yourself. That's raising your vibration. It's opening the doorway to your heart. Like I say, the portal to your soul, actually. And so, so that's, I think, is really important. And that's journaling, doing some journalings, just getting some thoughts out. And it can be not only that, even traumas or old fears, or something that you want to revisit to give healing to. So if you're having a cycle in life that's really difficult for you, take some time to journal. And what are your real thoughts about that? What does it feel like to you, and how you can move through that? And it's very healing to do that.
It would be great too if we all tuned into ourselves more, because, a lot of times we go to a psychic, which I'm not trying to put us out of business because I love my job, but we'll go there to get confirmation of something we already know, and we could have just maybe meditated on it or journaled on it and got our own answers, right?
I always say your heart is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
When you listen to your heart, you're going to get the right answer. Yeah. But when you're thinking in your head, in your mind, and there's a lot of stress up there. So you can tell the difference. So I like to do this visual, actually. So if you were to imagine a rainbow above you or in front of you, you can feel it, you can see it, but more importantly, it's up here in the head, right? In the brain, in the memory bank. But if you were to take that rainbow and feel it, and actually kind of pull it down through the top of your head, all the way through your throat chakra, and right here, and set it right here in your heart. And then feel that rainbow, feel the colors of that rainbow. Now you have your heart open. Now there's the feeling, the knowing is right there. But otherwise you're up in your head, in your mind, and that goes back to memories and fears. And maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should do that. And there's the question, you kind of go back and forth. That's a computer. My guides like to kind of say, brain no more, fear no more, only love. Love is within the heart. So get that brain out of the way for a little while and work with your heart.
I love it. And
I like that.
This has been so helpful so far, Kat. I just want to tell people about your website and encourage everyone to sign up for your newsletter. It's Kat Devine, and that's KatDivine.com. So KatDivine.com. Go to her newsletter, subscribe to it. I know you have some upcoming events that you'll be telling us about here in the next half hour, but just for everyone, how do you work with people, Kat? Are you working with people on Zoom and phone, or how are you working? Are you seeing people in person?
Yes,
that is-
actually, all the above. I'm working in Zoom. I am starting doing more in-person events here, one-on-one sessions as well. A lot of events online, of course, one-on-one, and in our groups, like the Four Earth Angels groups,
Yes.
and with other people. And I have an event actually, or a series that is starting with Beyond Being Human, which I have to mention, Seeing Beyond and Beyond Being Human. And this series is kind of what we've been talking about, meditation, connecting to your own soul, helping you with healing or difficulties in your life, and allowing that energy to come through and help guide you. So it's going to be an ongoing series. It's interactive. It will be on Zoom virtual. And so if you're interested in that, you can sign up with me there and get more information as soon as it starts.
You want to give your website out?
Yes, it is catdevine.com.
And when you see people for an appointment, Kat, when people schedule with you, is it for, I mean, do you do different types, like you're doing readings, mediumship readings, or energy healing? You can do that, virtually, so to speak.
Yes,
you're healing and
absolutely.
reading. Yeah.
Doing mediumship, connecting to your loved ones in spirit, of course, and soul coaching is kind of how I call it, because it's really connecting to your soul, to what pops up that is most relevant for you. What is it that I kind of like bubbles? Whatever comes to the surface is what really needs to be talked about and healed, whether it needs to be healed, discussed, and move through that energy. Because if somebody's having a difficulty in their life, or they're having a challenge, or they're saying, why do I keep having these same patterns? So then we tune in that way and we work from the core of the problem, or I won't call it problem, but the core of the experience, shall I say.
Yeah, the lesson. It's a life lesson, right? So we have 2 minutes to break. When we come back from break, we will be taking calls then, right, Cheryl?
Sure. Yes.
And we'll also continue this conversation in between. And I have a couple questions in the email already that I wanted to read first. So before we take the calls, we're going to answer one email question, then we're going to take the callers. So while we're on break, Facebook, you'll still hear us, just the radio goes on break. So just know that we'll kind of be sitting here quietly waiting for the break to be over. Okay, and what do we have, another minute or so? I have one question that maybe you could answer really quick. Somebody wants to know what we can do. Who is it that just asked this? Vivian, what is the best way to provide healing energy for your pets when they are sick or if they are about to transition over the Rainbow Bridge? If you can answer that in like 30 seconds or less. Otherwise, we'll finish after the break.
30 seconds. I say connect to your heart. When you connect to your heart, and then you can connect to their heart. And I like to kind of create the portal of light, or the tower of light. And then you kind of meet at the top of the tower together. And that's where the healing happens, within the light. The light space is pure energy. It's loving. It's God source energy, however you'd like to say it. And that's where the healing happens. But imagine that the dog or your pet or loved one is at peace and is feeling power, feeling love, and feeling whole and healthy and well, and giving gratitude for that. That's how I do it.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Kat. And I think we're about to go on break right now, Cheryl. Is that right?
Yes. Everyone stay tuned. We'll be back after a short break. You're listening and watching Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed. We'll be right back.
All right, we're all clear.
Okay, great.
Thank you. And everybody on Facebook can still hear us, so stay tuned. We'll be back in just like, I think, a minute and a half or 2 minutes. And we'll continue and answer some questions and take phone calls.
Well, hello to everyone on Facebook.
So we can chit chat a little bit. I just don't know, like, we want to talk too much because we don't want the radio to miss out on it. But
yeah, we're saving the goodies for the radio show now.
Yeah. So Brianna is sharing things on the comments in Facebook for us. So if, Brianna, if you're listening in, please share Kat's website for everybody on our pages. Thank you.
And we're also on YouTube. Is that right, Kelley?
Yes, but we have nobody really watching the comments there.
Okay.
But that's okay. I think most people watch YouTube after the fact.
Yeah, I agree.
You could hear a pin drop.
I know, right? Seems strange.
30 seconds.
Okay. I wonder, are we supposed to be quiet for the radio? I don't know.
I think just they're playing the music, the intro back.
We have some commercials playing, but 10 seconds. Now we can use our outside voices. Here we go.
Empowerment.com.
You're listening to Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed with Kelley and Cheryl. If you have questions for the hosts or guests, you can join us on the show at 888-346-9141. That's 888-346-9141. Now let's get back to the show. Here again are Cheryl and Kelley.
Welcome back, everyone, to Seeing Beyond Living Transformed. We have the lovely Kat Devine with us. If you're just tuning in, Kat Devine is a psychic intuitive, spiritual medium, energy healer, and transformational soul coach. She just answered a wonderful question about pets and how to connect with them. So if you need to listen to that again, or Kat, if you wanted to add more to it, but I loved when you were telling the person that sent in the email to connect with their heart. You said, go to the top of the tower, just send love and gratitude. That's how you'll connect to your pet who might be transitioning or may need some loving energy.
Love that too.
Yeah, I love it. We want to move on to some more calls or some questions. So Kelley, who's next? Who's on our call list here?
So nobody's on the call list yet, but I have a couple emails. We wait for people to call in. And so I know I read one. So this other email right here is, where'd it go? It says, it's from A. Marie, it says, does the other side have any info on health or career for A. Marie? That's the name we have. All right. So does anybody want, oh, who's this? Okay, we have two callers on hold as well. We have Kim from North Carolina and Casey from California. We'll take those in just a minute. So if you want to answer that, anybody for A. Marie, anybody feel anything, want to tune into that?
Well, I mean, I just want to go back to what Kat was saying about being heart-centered and connecting with her heart, because I felt that with this person that wrote in the question. I just felt with Anne Maria, it is about kind of feeling the feet underneath you, right? Connecting with Mother Earth, feeling your power within your heart and your heart-centered, and taking that moment to listening to the breath, because I do feel that she's Anne Marie is going through a lot of transformation, and I want to say there is a lot of movement within you and around you. So I really agree with Kat. It is about taking that time to practice self-care and practice breathing in and out, because we really do want to hold the light for ourselves as well. So would you guys like to add to that, Kat? Do you have anything
You said
to
that
add?
perfectly. That's exactly what I would be saying.
Yeah, I felt the same thing. Thank you, Cheryl. Let's take our first caller. We have Kim from North Carolina. Welcome.
Hi, Kim.
Kat.
Hi, Kim.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound great. What is your question, Kim? Welcome to the show.
Okay. Thank you so much. I resonate so much with Kat's story. I am an animal lover, always have been. Started doing animal communication about 12 years ago. But lately I've been seeing spirits. I've been, the other night I was woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning and had all this information. It felt like it was just protruding in my forehead. And so I started to speak it into my iPad, and it was a beautiful channeled message about grief. So my question is, how I can get so, I'm very sensitive. So like right now I'm trying to rescue a mama and her kittens, and it can be paralyzing to me. So I would like to know how to overcome that, so that I can continue to connect with spirit, and what Kat sees in my future as far as what I'll be doing.
Well, you're definitely an animal lover. Yes, I can feel that strongly with you. You're incredibly empathic. So there's a balance of life. And so that's something that was really difficult for me to really grasp for quite some time. With rescue, I did a lot of rescue work, and it's very, very, I can feel again when they're in distress and things like that. So you have to understand why you're there, what you're doing for the animal, and how, again, we all have to move from the physical body into the spirit world at some point in time. But what you're doing is you're nurturing it at the point in which that they can feel the love. And again, I know we talk about love a lot, but that's really the most powerful force in the universe is love. And so, but with love, there has to be a feeling of, I know that everything that I'm doing is for the highest, greatest good of the animal. But if nature takes it, and that's part of that soul process, then let them do that. So there, you have to also ask. I do ask, with my guides and my angels, I ask for help and assistance, and it's taking the burden and the pressure and the worry and the fear outside away, because fear will never help you. Worry will never, ever help. Okay. It's like inviting worry or fear in your room or in your home and say, hey, can you help me with this project? It's like, never going to happen. Fear is not going to help you. Worry is not going to help you. What would they look like? So who do you want to invite? I invite support. I invite clarity. I invite guidance. And so those things is going to help you to let go of the fear and the worry and the judgment. That's the first step. Wow. Right. And so for moving through that feeling of like, okay, you mean I've asked for help, which means that means I'm not doing it alone. So I don't have to carry the burden. And that does not going to help you. Always lead with the heart, with love, and say, dear God, I like to say God. Right? If everybody else does, that's fine. However you like to say, dear God, please bless the situation. I ask to help and heal whatever I can do for the highest, greatest good of all parties concerned. So you're giving up the fear-based reality with that. And so as far as your future, I feel like, yeah, you've got this. This is what I hear. Like, you got this. You just needed a little guidance. Like I needed a mentor. That's how I feel like you just getting some guidance and instruction how to move through it is going to really assist you without fear or worry. Tell them to go. That's how I say it.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for calling in, Kim. And I hope that that answer resonated with you.
Appreciate it more than you know.
All right.
Thanks
Before we take our next caller, I would like to share some Facebook comments. So apparently your story resonates with so many. Okay, Kat, because we've got a lot of comments about that. My path seems so similar to Kat's. I'm an animal communicator, and I've recently started seeing spirits and receiving channeled messages. I would like to know what she sees for my future, in my future. And this is from Kim Bracken.
Is that the same Kim from North Carolina?
Yes. And let me just read one more thing. If you could also share real quick before we take the next call, because you have a lot of people asking you questions, and I love this. Besides St. Francis, are there special saints or archangels specifically for the animals in our world?
Oh, that's a good question.
Right? That's from Vivian again.
Well, I'm going to briefly just say about the angels. I hadn't seen an angel. I really hadn't. I'd seen spirit, but I hadn't seen an angel. Well, when I was working with doing a healing on my dog at the time in my room, all of a sudden I felt the presence of Archangel Raphael. And I'm just going to say it because that's how I felt. I felt he is Archangel Raphael. He's a healer. But I also saw a white angel. and again, when I say see, it's such a glimpse, it's kind of like the light behind me here. It was such a quick glimpse, but I can't remember at the time right now, but at the time I heard the name and I looked it up, and she was a healer for animals. So yes, they're there. That's all I can tell you is they're there. So ask for them, even if you don't know them by name. They're going to appear, or they're going to be there and present with you.
Yeah, that's a great. I always don't know them all by names either. I just ask for what I need, and
That's
ask
right.
for the angel to come forward, and that's all that you need to do. So, and if you do, you feel drawn to answering Kim Bracken's anything you see for her future, and then I think we're going to take a caller next.
Kim Bracken, what is your future?
And she's an animal communicator like you.
Yeah, well, that path is a wonderful path to communicate with animals. You're very empathic. But again, I kind of feel it's going back to balance, because sometimes we get too caught up into feeling the emotions and the fears, and we place a lot of attention, or we try to humanize the animals a lot. So I know you're an animal communicator, but remember that animals are animals, right? They have a soul. And which is very interesting that I said that, because I just learned something. I want to mention this because on another episode, or another event that I did was talking about souls in animals, and I won't get in depth about that, but the ones that are here with us, that are domesticated and that, you know, we love, they have a soul and they can feel your energy. But just remember that they do have their own feelings of their own instinctual feelings as an animal versus the human. So don't put the human emotions onto the animal. That's really important. I keep hearing that for you. So there's somewhere along the lines that you want to be able to make sure that you're very clear about humans are different than the animals. I'm being guided to say that. I don't know if Cheryl or Kelley has anything to add to that.
No, I think that was great. I think that we have a lot, you know, we have callers on hold and we have a lot of questions. So let's move on to our next caller. And if that made sense to you at all, Kim, please share in the comments, and we'll see those. We have Casey from California. Is she still on hold here? Welcome, Casey.
Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi,
Kelly.
ladies. How are you?
Great. How can we help you today?
I kind of have a very specific question about passing, and I don't know if this is something you do. I'm not sure if this is something you can even
Well,
answer, but
ask us. Yeah, we'll see.
yeah, my father was in an accident. It was two people died, and anyways, I've just always, the investigation still isn't done. It's taken almost a year and a half over when they said it would be done. And so I've just always been curious, because no one really can figure out if he saw it last minute and tried to maneuver out of it, or if he was just blindsided. And it's just something I feel like will give me a little closure if there's any inkling or
I
anything that
heard
you
right
can tell
away
me.
he was blindsided. I heard that he didn't see it coming. I also heard that it was very quick for him. Do you understand that? I feel like he didn't feel anything, and he wants you to know that. So it wasn't
Good.
a very traumatic passing. He wasn't, you know, yeah, it was quick. Like he didn't expect it. I just heard him say
Good. So he
blindsided
was
right
out
when
of
you said
pain.
that.
So
Yeah.
this was an auto accident, is
Oh,
that right, Casey?
You know what? It was actually a midair airplane collision.
Airplane collision, because I felt a brokenness. I felt a broken bone or a broken leg.
Yeah.
I'm also heard that I felt like he had a full heart with him when he transitioned, you know, and that
Yeah.
there was no sense of what was happening, that, you know, he was, you know, absolutely escorted to the other side by his loved ones, by his mother, like your grandmother. And absolutely, they don't see the tragedy of it happening. I just want to say, I agree with Kelley. I didn't feel that to be something that that was part of his transition. I mean, so it did happen, you know, instantaneously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
And he's not alone. He's
I just
over there
worry.
with his family. So I know
Yeah,
he's got family
yeah.
over there.
That's really comforting because so they hit midair. And anyways, I just always thought, did he die in midair or was it the crash, like in the ground? And so I just always was hoping it was instant and quick. So that makes me.
And if I can just mention also that he's not at that accident anymore. He's here with you now. It's really important
Yeah.
to feel the love that he has and he's giving to you. Because I know that you're very clairaudient as well. Because I feel like you hear him at times. Like you hear something. And it's like, yeah, I'm here. I'm here, he says. I'm here. But you keep going back. Like those are past events or experiences. But he's right with you now. Right now.
Yeah.
And we have to remember that. We have to remember that.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, that was
so
awesome.
welcome.
I appreciate that so much.
Yeah, well, thank you for calling in and listening in, Casey. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. And we're going to move on to our next caller, Anne Marie from Minnesota.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Hello. Thank you, all of you. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting.
How can we help you today? Did you want a reading or did you have a question? What would you like?
Yeah, I just wanted to see if anything popped up from the other side.
Okay. Kat, Cheryl, did you want to try this one? I just jumped in on the other one, so.
That's okay. Kat, would you like to take this one to start?
Yeah. Well, Anne, I can feel a mother standing in front of you. And I just want to talk, you would have a mother in spirit, is that correct?
No, she's here, but I was with her today.
You're with her today because I keep seeing her literally standing in front of you. So would you understand that a grandmother that was very close to you, but she was very motherly to you? And when I say, it's interesting that I'm even saying it so close, but she took care of you when you were younger. And I feel like she was with you a lot of times when you were younger. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So she says, like, I would say, like, I'm her mom, almost like she was that close to you. So that's why she kind of presented to me as your mom. So she is in spirit with you from spirit. And she says that I have been with you. And it's almost been like, it feels really almost quick and sudden even for her. Would you understand that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she's really, really loving you and what you're doing, because she's talking about how much you've accomplished just recently. I feel like you just had an experience that you would be quite proud of, that she would be very proud of.
Yes, so true. You're right on.
She's saying that I love you. And, she says, I love you. I know she said that a lot. And that's why I'm saying it. It's not something that's very general. And I like to say that to other people because not everyone would say those words, but she said it to you all the time. I love you. Like, you're like the most amazing little angel. That's what she would say. Like, I love you. Like, you can't do wrong in her eyes is where I get it. What she says to me.
Thank you for that.
Did you want to add anything? You're welcome.
I felt
so beautiful. Go
yeah,
ahead.
that was beautiful, Kat. I felt the grandmother as well, and I agree with everything you're saying. She's a beautiful soul, beautiful energy. So thank you so much, Anne Marie, for calling in and watching us on the show. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you so much.
Oh, we're gonna move on to our next caller, which is Bridget from Oklahoma. Welcome, Bridget. Are you with us?
Hi, hello. Yes, I'm here.
Hi, welcome to the show. How can we help you today?
I was wondering if there was anything for my husband, Dale.
Okay.
Oh, I did feel a man for you. I did feel a man for you. May I take this one?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
I just feel a salt of the earth with this gentleman. And I do feel you guys had a really, you were one and the same, I almost want to say. So I do feel this to be a soulmate. Would you understand that? Like that love of your life and that sweetheart. And, very tender-hearted. And he shows me a pair of boots, and that I'm also feeling a lot of music around him, and that we listen to music a lot. And I want to tell you, I really get a sense of him having a really big sense of humor too. Bridget, can you understand that? And that you were with him when he passed?
Yes.
Also, Bridget,
I
like you were
was.
holding his hand very much. And I kept getting the month of December. Is that an important day for a holiday? I mean, not a holiday, but important birthday or anniversary, please, for you?
As
December.
for an anniversary, no, not an anniversary, but December was a big month for us. But he passed in January, the first week of January.
Mhm. And I just feel like you took care of him every day in every way, right? But his soul was calling
Yeah.
home. And, I do feel a very spiritual man with me, right? I feel like this guy, he has a really big open heart, open mind, like no judgment, right? He's here to tell you how much he loves you.
Yeah.
He still wants you to take care of him. Like you're still caring for him, I think that in some way you worry,
Yeah.
like, is he okay? Is he okay? Does he know that I
Yeah.
still miss him and I love him? And you still wear his ring, or you still wear the wedding ring?
Yeah.
He's right there with you, like he hasn't missed a beat in your life. I just feel when you feel your heart beating, it's something about feeling his beating as well. Okay.
It's been 7 years.
Wow.
7 years this year. It's been a long time.
It's a long time. But I just feel that
Yeah.
he's here to bring you comfort and bring you peace. And I'm going to hand it over to Kelley or Kat, see if they'd like to
Yeah.
add
Well,
something.
I just wanted to add, he had a great sense of humor, didn't he?
Yes.
Because I feel like he tries to make you laugh when you miss him. So he tries to remind you of funny stories and funny things. And I just feel like he's always around giving you lots of love from the other side. So just know that he's always with you. And he loves you very much still. Okay? Always will. And
Okay.
I just think he just wants to see you be happy.
I'm trying. I'm working on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I just a lot of love from him. That's what I'm feeling. A lot of love from him and support. And I know you said January was when he passed. So I do feel like with him though, is it this month an important month? Is this like a birthday or something for you or him?
Yeah.
Because that's what I feel like he's talking about. Because you really think about him a lot during this time too, right?
I want to add, guys, that my lights were flickering, Kelley, while you were talking. And I'm feeling, Bridget, with your husband, that your lights flicker in your house, or that's how you know he's around. Do you have anything like that happening in your home, please?
I think we lost her.
You may have lost her, Bridget, but
Okay.
please take
Yeah.
his love. And Kelley, that was a really beautiful message.
Oh, thank you. Yours was too. So we have like just 4 minutes left and we have one person on hold. Do we want to take that real quick? Or should we move on to a couple questions real quick or finish up? How do you want to do it?
Let's take a question. We really, I want
3 minutes. Yeah. So there's so many amazing questions.
Mhm.
Let me find a really good one. They're all good ones. So let me find one that we can do in 3 minutes.
Sure. And we can just tell everyone about Kat. Your website again is katdevine.com. We encourage everyone to sign up and subscribe to your newsletter and find out your upcoming events. You mentioned you have something coming up July 17th. You're doing a small circle. It's going to be online. So when they sign up for your newsletter and get on your newsletter, they'll find out what your events are, what you're up to. I know that's your preferred method of staying in touch with people.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, sign up for my newsletter or in my contact information, send it over to me, and I'll send out all the upcoming events. And one of them will be an ongoing series through an amazing platform. And it's really, again, what we talked about, which is remembering your divinity. It all starts with the heart. So it'll be an incredible series. If you'd like to learn more about that, sign up on my newsletter.
So Kim Bracken said, so grateful for your insight and guidance. Thank you with all my heart. I needed this today. So good job there, Kat. And really everybody wants a reading, but I feel like this is something we can answer very quickly. Barbara says, I was feeling that my dog was in discomfort and he was detaching himself from me. So I looked into his eyes and I asked him if he wanted me to help him go. So I did. She did. She wants to know, did she make the right decision? And I have to say, yes.
Yes, absolutely. I hear absolutely. It was exactly. And sometimes, they really do wait, and they want to make sure you're okay. And so by you doing that, you're giving permission so that they can go at peace in the time that they needed to go. So yes, absolutely is what I hear.
Okay, we have a minute left. I just want to finish up with thank you so much, Kat, for coming on. We appreciate you. We love you. And I wanted to also mention that next week, I'm very excited that we have Kelly Brickle coming on, and she's going to be talking about numerology and maybe some colors and things like that. So I'm very excited about next week's show. So don't forget to tune in Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And if you didn't get a chance to watch this whole show, you can watch us on our YouTube channel or check it out on our Facebook and watch it again. And
thank you.
Cheryl?
Thank you.
Thank you
so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you for coming, Kat. And thank you everyone for joining us today. Please subscribe to our newsletter, which is on our website, seeingbeyondradio.com, and join the Seeing Beyond community. Thank you again for watching. We'll see you next week.
And that's a wrap. Great show, ladies.
Thank you. Thanks for your help today.
Look at you guys. I hear your show blowing up every single Wednesday. I love how
Really?
fast you guys started blowing up on our network. I knew you would too. I told you
Yay, that's
Empowerment's a
awesome.
powerful channel.
Yay. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Congrats.
All right. I got to jump out of here to the next show. Have a fantastic week. It was great talking to you two again.